amateurs. That's what we're just going to focus on very briefly here. Rich Beam is alongside me. We've got stars of screen, sport, all walks of life, also titans of industry and business, and that includes golf business as well. Rich, out there today in a grouping, Dean Burmester playing alongside His Excellency Yasir Al-Rumayyan, who is the governor of the PIF, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, also behind LIV Golf. They're paired with Billy Horschel in shot there, and Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour. With everything going on in the world of golf, the push from all angles to try and unite the game, two pretty important people alongside each other for a 5-hour walk around the links there, Rich.
I'd like to believe that our host, Johan Rupert, might have had something to do with that. He's got a pretty keen sense of humor at times, but what a place to bring them together. You know, St. Andrews, the home of golf, you know, the RNA is based here. We've got the two heaviest hitters right now trying to get a deal together. The players are talking about it, and I would imagine that a couple of players have probably walked up to both gentlemen and said, listen, we encourage a deal. Can we expedite this thing? Because we need to have golf back under one umbrella instead of the factions that we have right now. Not saying that LIV is bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I think there's a time and a place that everybody can get involved, just not those players. But I got to say that a pretty extraordinary pairing, but I don't read too much into it. All their business is done behind closed doors, as we know.
Yeah, but that's how it's sort of being conveyed, the news, so often in statements issued rather than face-to-face contact. And what better place to do it with that backdrop, having those two people publicly alongside each other, playing a game of golf, enjoying the spirit of the game, but hopefully also through the week having further conversations, Rich?
Sure, absolutely. And I think there's going to be a lot of folks, you know, I mentioned Johan Rupert, you know, he's massive into the game. I mean, he runs this event, he puts it on, but he is massive on the Sunshine Tour down in South Africa. He is also one of the head honchos in the game of golf. Yeah. And so I think that, you know, he's basically just trying to get the conversation moving along a little bit more. And I just think that, you know, again, you can't have a better atmosphere. They're on the golf course today for about 6 hours, and then they're going to have time. There's cocktail receptions, there's dinners. I mean, this is a very small town, a very small place here in St. Andrews, so word spreads pretty quickly. But I look at it as a positive in the game, and I think what it does is it actually kind of opens us up to be like, okay, these guys aren't at war with each other. I mean, they've got their positions that they've got to protect, but at the same time, they want this thing to happen as much as I think the players do.
You could easily watch it and think that backdrop, the boss of the PGA Tour, the boss of LIV Golf, the boss of the DP World Tour, Guy Kinnings, is going to be around as well. Just sort it out this week. What is the biggest obstacle, though, for these leaders in these parts of the game to come together when you think about all the other players that are here this week?
Well, you have the players that have a say in all this as well. Billy Horschel, in his press conference, actually talked about that. He talked to you, listen, when LIV first came out at Scottish Open, I was absolutely against it. He was very vocal and very stern and upfront and pointed in his stance on it. It's eased a little bit. He says, listen, I can hold a grudge as good as anybody, but I think for me, now that time has passed, that has eased a little bit of what happened back in 2022. So I think that, you know, with this tournament and having, what, a dozen or so LIV players out here this week, I think it just kind of goes to show that golf kind of needs this right now. We need to get these players back involved. And again, we can speculate all day what happens going behind closed doors. I know there's going to be a lot of things going on in the political world as far as the Justice Department of the United States able, you know, to sign off on this, because it's going to create a whole different entity. And holy cow, we could just have a wildfire with things that we could talk about. But at the end of the day, there's no better place than to get these two head guys, as well as Guy Kinnings. I don't mean to keep him out, but Johan Rupert, because if you've ever spent a minute with Johan Rupert, you know that he's going to, like, come, let's talk, you know, and he's just like, he is going to be all in on that. And that's why I think that we all love and respect him, because, you know, he planned all this, and good for him.
Well, this old cliche that you can learn an awful lot about a person with a 5-hour walk around the links. Let's hope that is the case this week.